The crypto market is not in a great spot right now. In the last 7 days, Bitcoin is down almost 13%. We've seen other major projects such as Solana be down 22%. So it's a pretty significant drawback. Am I concerned? Not really. This is pretty common in a crypto bull run, which is why I think this is just a temporary drawback and a great buying opportunity for certain altcoins, because some altcoins are down between 50 and 70%, meaning the upside right now is just tremendous if you manage to pick the right tokens. So today we're going to focus on some really interesting AI tokens that have seen massive dips that I think has extremely high potential over the next few months. AI is going to continue to be one of the best performing narratives this cycle, in my personal opinion, which is why I'm keeping a very close eye on these specific AI tokens. But first of all, let's take a quick look at the total crypto market cap, because as you can see, we are down over 20% from the highs just a few weeks ago, which is obviously a pretty significant drawback. But what I'd like to do is just zoom out a little bit, head back to the previous bull run in 2021. As you can see, on the way up, we saw multiple drawbacks. That doesn't seem that big right now, but this was a 20% drawback. If we go up here, for example, this was a 25% dump. And if we even go all the way up here, we saw a almost 60% drawback before reaching new all-time highs in the total crypto market cap. You got to be okay with some of these dumps in the market, and you got to utilize them by buying some of the tokens that are on huge discounts right now. Because as I said, Bitcoin is down almost 13%. But if we go into the AI niche, you can see that Render is down 20%, Bittenser 27%, we have Fetch 24%. So some of these tokens are down way more than Bitcoin, which means that the upside over the next few months when the market recovers is also way bigger than Bitcoin. Now, obviously none of this is financial advice, but let me quickly show you some of the AI altcoins I've been accumulating this last week and why I think they are such good buying opportunities right now. First of all, I want to talk about Render, because if we head over to the Render chart, you can see that it has been performing extremely well this year. Went from basically $1 back in September last year to $13 at the high, but it is now down to 7.26, which is almost a 50% drawback, like 47%, quite significant. And Render is still one of the blue chips in the AI space. They basically do decentralized computing. They're the biggest decentralized computing platform in the crypto space. And computing power is still an insanely valuable resource in the world right now when it comes to AI. There's a huge lack of computing power, which is why I think Render will continue to do really well, because the demand for computing power for developing AI models is just going to get bigger over the next couple of years, in my opinion. So right now, when Render is at a 50% discount, could be a great way to get in. This is obviously a bit less of a risky play compared to some of the other tokens I will talk about very shortly, because Render is a pretty big project with a market cap of $2.8 billion. So, you know, it's not a small cap, it's already a pretty large project, but I do think this could have like a 3 or 4x potential this bull run. And to get some of the large caps out of the way, let me also mention Bittenser really quickly. Obviously the biggest useful proof of work blockchain out there. Useful proof of work basically meaning it's a proof of work blockchain with similar tokenomics to Bitcoin, but it uses all the computing power used to run the network to also run AI models. And it's up to the community and token holders to decide where the computing power goes and to what AI projects. But Bittenser is down from a high of $745 to $360, meaning over 50% discount on Bittenser. I personally think Bittenser is going to $1,000 plus this bull run for sure, potentially even close to like 2,000. So the upside right now on Bittenser is quite big as well, considering it's such a large cap project, obviously very known project in the space. You can also see that the RSI is at the lowest level it has been in quite a while, which just means that the buying opportunity right now is pretty massive for Bittenser as well. So Render and Bittenser, maybe the two biggest blue chips in the AI sector, both down almost 50%, while Bitcoin itself is not down nearly as much. So once the market reverses, which I think is imminent, obviously we could see more downside before it reverses back up to the upside. But personally, I don't think it's worth the risk. I have already started accumulating. I will be buying some more of these AI projects over the next few days if they stay at these levels or go even lower. But you can see that Bittenser is trading at quite an important range, which is the previous highs back here, as well as a bit of a resistance level back here, meaning it's an area with quite a lot of liquidity. So I think these levels are very, very tempting. I wish I had loads more liquidity to buy into the market right now because there's so many things I want to buy. But what you should do if you don't have too much liquidity, focus on the few projects you are most bullish on and just go pretty deep into those projects, because at the end of the day, conviction plays usually tends to pay off in the crypto bull run. Now another one, we have Paal AI, which is a bit of a smaller project with a market cap of $278 million. You can see that it was performing extremely well so far this cycle, but it is now down from its high of over 80 cents, basically 86 cents, down to 33, which is a 60% drawback. And what that means is that for Paal to go back up to all-time highs, it would need to do 150%. So just for it to reach back to the previous prices, you're already looking at a 2.5x in return. Paal is a super interesting AI project as well. I'm not going to go too much into detail on what all of these projects do because they are pretty popular projects. There's loads of YouTube videos and Twitter threads going into detail on exactly what these projects do. I obviously recommend you to do your own research and kind of understand these projects before buying into them. But in this video, I just want to showcase a few AI projects that have seen massive dumps that I think will recover and do very well for the rest of the year. Now, the fourth project, I know I have been talking about this one a lot, but I am just super bullish on it. And it is one of the projects I've been buying the most of during this last week, which is QUBIC, another useful proof of work blockchain. They're aiming to be like the fastest blockchain out there. They're built by the previous founder of IOTA, which obviously did insane returns back in the 2017 and 18 bull run. It is down almost 65% from the all-time highs, but just earlier today they did actually see a massive pump of almost 30%, which is crazy, especially since the market is down so much. So why did that pump? Well, basically deposits went live on Gate.io, which is a fairly large exchange, not large, but like a tier 2 exchange at least. So far, QUBIC has only been tradable on tier 3 exchanges like SafeTrade, but it seems like Gate.io is about to list QUBIC. Trading is not live yet, but you can actually deposit QUBIC on Gate.io, which obviously means that it will get listed really soon. And simply based off of those news, QUBIC pumped 30%. So just imagine what will happen when the listing actually goes live and once they start getting listed on other exchanges like MEXC, potentially even bigger ones like Binance and Bybit, because QUBIC is already at like a $400 million market cap. So it's already a pretty big project. So it'll probably be pretty easy for QUBIC to get listed on some of these bigger exchanges once they actually start reaching out to them. So I'm super bullish on QUBIC. It's one of my biggest bags at the moment. Wanted to showcase it again just to show you how big of an opportunity this is. This is the sort of moves you can see just from a simple, not even a listing, but just being able to deposit it on Gate.io. Now, lastly, I quickly want to mention two AI projects that have yet to launch. Their token is not tradable yet, but Morpheus AI is a super hyped up project launching on May 8th. So in less than a week from now, definitely want to keep a close eye on. They're doing a fair launch, but basically to get Morpheus token so far, you had to stake Ethereum on their platform. And the absolutely crazy thing is that so far 127,000 Ethereum is being staked on their platform, equaling almost $400 million. So there's a lot of hype and attention on this project. It's probably going to do extremely well. As I said, it is a fair launch, no VCs, no pre-sales, no KOL rounds. So I don't have any of this token. You will get in just as early as I will on May 8th once it goes live. Obviously, don't just ape into it. It kind of depends what valuation it launches at, but I will be paying very close attention to Morpheus and potentially pick some up on May 8th if it's trading at a fair valuation. And lastly, Gensyn AI, another really hyped up AI project that have yet to launch their token. They have not confirmed when they will actually launch it, but I do assume they will launch within a few months. So definitely want to keep an eye on as well, because as I said, I think AI will continue to be one of the best performing narratives this cycle. So especially now with all of these AI projects being on such huge discounts, I think there are so many great buying opportunities out there in the market right now. If you want to know about even more tokens I've been buying these last few weeks, check out my previous video. I will link it right here. Also, I did recently partner with CoinW, which is my preferred exchange. They're the biggest non-KYC exchange right now. You can trade up to $50,000 per day without doing any KYC. Obviously now with even MEXC, which was the biggest non-KYC exchange, starting to require KYC, I wanted to find a non-KYC exchange to use. CoinW is now the biggest one. They have tons of trading pairs. They're a great exchange, so I will leave a link to that down below where you can trade some of these tokens that I did mention. And by signing up down below, you do also get access to my Telegram trading group where some professional traders are sharing trades very actively, as well as market updates, etc. So you can check all that out down below. Also follow me over on Twitter. We'll link that down below. Obviously like and subscribe if you enjoy this sort of content. Let me know what kind of tokens you're buying these days during these dips. And with that said, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.